A person who's retired from the military.
Someone who's willing to lay down their life for the freedom of this country.
A retired military worker who has laid their life down for us to win free country.
A veteran is somebody who risks their life and death every single day to protect this country.
I fought for our country so we can be free.
A veteran is a man or a woman that served in battle.
Someone who serves their country.
Someone who's willing to sacrifice their life for America.
A veteran is someone who sacrificed their life in battle for us.
A veteran is a person who has fought in a war or done a kind of service.
It's someone who's fought in a war.
A veteran is someone that's served in a service somewhere, like in the army.
A person who has served in the military.
A veteran is someone who fights for us to have freedom for our country.
A veteran is someone who fought in a war or army or like the National Guard, the Marines, or something like that.
Freedom is us having the right to do what we do in America because veterans give us that freedom and they help us.
Freedom is where we have the power to do what we want, when we want, thanks to veterans for risking their life every day.
To be whoever you want to be or to be yourself.
Everything.
Freedom means a privilege that not everybody has.
It's just being able to do whatever you want.
Freedom means to me that you get to say whatever you want and do whatever you get to do.
My name's Bobby Guffey and I serve in the United States Army. When I went to the Army, I joined in my senior year of high school. So just before, I think it was just before Christmas, I actually went and signed up. So I finished the rest of my school year, but my last 6 months in school, I knew I was going to the Army as soon as this was over. So I stayed, I think I left in July. So I had a few months after graduation. Still, you know, it's still sort of looming over you because I knew for a fact I was going to be gone for 14 weeks straight without seeing, talking really to anybody. So it was a pretty big culture shock when I got down there because when you go to a basic training of Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy, whoever, you know, you don't have a group of people from Alabama or the South. You know, you have a sprinkling of people from every region, you know, every state in the United States. So you come in and you're the guy with the southern accent and he's the guy with the, you know, northern accent. It makes you're forced to speak to each other where you normally, you know, a shy person wouldn't. You're forced to. So I was a sort of an outspoken person, but we had a lot of people that weren't. So it was a really scary time because instead of teachers, you know, snapping fingers or yelling at you to get to class, you had drill sergeants slinging garbage cans, you know. So it was a really big culture shock, but you come together and help each other out. So that's one of the best things about it. So you go to your lowest low and you go to your highest high, all in 14 weeks. So it was pretty neat. When I got to my first unit, see, I was a paratrooper when I joined the military, which means I was an airborne infantryman. So I jumped out of airplanes and my job was to hunt down and we'll say capture people. So window where you're there but you haven't started basic training. So fast forward, now we're in August, right? So I'm in August, run through all of August, and we get into you have in the summer especially if you're going to go to the infantry. We'd already been, I think I'd run 5 miles that morning already. And it doesn't look like I could run 5 miles now, but I used to. And come out of breakfast and usually have a routine. Everything's about routines in basic. So we come in and they start pushing this TV out and they plug it in. And then there it is. And I went from basically a kid like you guys to an adult like that. Because I joined the military thinking, you know, hey, I could get some money and go to serve my country, but we weren't in war, right? So within seconds, just like everybody else in the world, my life changed because I graduated basic, immediately went to airborne school, started jumping out of airplanes, which takes about 3 weeks to learn, get to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I was in Afghanistan months later. So here I am, think about it, you're a senior in high school, and not even 12 months later, you're in war. So I'd say that was one of the most, hey, here it is kind of moments. Because, you know, I was standing in Afghanistan one morning and my watch goes off and I had set an alarm. It was the day my sister was getting married. And here I am in Afghanistan. So sort of two moments, but those two sort of rocked my world.
Kenneth Edwin Crowell, United States Marine Corps. First thought was, what have I done to deserve this? And then the training, you had to get it in your head that you could do this, that you would try to think that they're not here to kill you even though they're trying. But it was a rough boot camp. It gave me the ability to say that there is no such thing as I can't. Always do the best you can, and everything else will fall in place. Never give up. Always look for the bright parts in life and do your best in every event.
Wendell Calvert Britt, United States Army. Well, you find out that you can't do things like you want to. You have to learn to give in and take orders and do whatever you're told the best you can. If you don't, you'll do about 100 push-ups. Well, I remember the first few days I got on the bus and went to Fort Benning, Georgia. And they put us all in a line, sent us through this big room and gave us all our little green uniforms. Then we went to the barber shop, all got our hair cut off. I mean off too. And you couldn't tell one person from the other, everybody looked alike.
My name's Steve Douglas Herring, United States Army, from 86 to 89, recalled into active duty in 1991, also spent 2 years in the Alabama National Guard. I was recalled to active duty during the first Gulf War with Iraq. I was in the Individual Ready Reserve at the time. Unbeknownst to most people, when you join the United States Army or any branch of the service, you actually join for 8 years. So many active, and then the rest is what's called the IRR, or the Individual Ready Reserve. So it had not been yet 8 years since I joined, so I was called back into active duty during the first Gulf War. Desert Shield and Desert Storm would be, I guess, what they called them at the time. I don't know of anyone that has ever joined any branch of the military that does not remember vividly their first few days in what we call BCT, or Basic Combat Training. And of course I joined, I was not drafted. And I found it very interesting that obviously everyone that was there was an adult, and that some guys were crying and I don't know why I did this. It's culture shock, but it's one of the best things I ever did, and that which does not kill you makes you stronger. And I remember my very first day, my senior drill sergeant told us, and I'm going to clean it up because I'm not going to use the language he used, but basically the gist of his message was, if you can successfully complete basic combat training, you can do anything in life, and I believe that. Join the military, be the best thing you ever did. It won't be a lot of fun some days, but the life lessons you learn, the camaraderie that you build with your fellow soldiers is something that can't be matched in any other endeavor that you would possibly want to do. You know, the Army's saying is be all you can be, and I believe that has helped me achieve what I have achieved in my life. I don't think I would be sitting here talking to you today had I not joined the United States Army.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans. Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans. Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans. Thank you, veteran.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your services.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
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 Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you for y'all's service. It takes guts and pride. And like I say, I love my brother and thank you for your service.